Will the 2024-2025 season be the last time that we see Inside the NBA on our TVs? Right now, that answer is yes, unfortunately. But that yes might not be here for much longer. If you're not familiar with what's going on right now, the Inside the NBA crew on TNT with Shaq, Ernie, Charles, and Kenny are now being positioned that this will potentially be their last season that we'll see them on our television networks. And it's all because of media rights deals, bidding wars, Amazon, NBC, and a lot of things that are encompassing why we might see one of the best NBA shows getting taken off our TVs. As of right now, this is the breakdown of the media rights deal when it came to the NBA, and you can see Walt Disney, ESPN, $2.6 billion in this deal, NBC, $2.5 billion, which they also outbid TNT, Warner Brothers, and then you have Amazon Prime Video with a big $1.8 billion for that third spot. And you see the whole breakdown here, the games, the playoffs, the extras, and that it's an 11-year NBA media rights deal. The biggest question everyone said was, well, wait, why would the commissioner, why would the NBA sit there and just negate the fact that one of the best NBA shows that we have, which is Inside the NBA, why weren't they given a little bit of priority here to be able to be in this media rights deal? They've done great work. They've won the awards. Why were not they the preference? I'm going to tell you right now that the commissioner, Adam Silver, is not the person that everyone should be blaming as to why we might not have Inside the NBA after next season. He actually always refers to Inside the NBA as a show that he uses, that he wants to see more of when talking about the NBA, and that he loves the crew. But a lot of things happened in the early of 2024 that I think did rub him the wrong way when it came to Warner Brothers, TNT, when it came to this media rights deal. And then I think he was actually offended by some comments that were made by the CEO of Warner Brothers. Early in the year, Warner Brothers CEO David Zaslav made some comments stating that, hey, we have NHL, we got MLB, we don't need to have the NBA. And that kind of raised a lot of questions with a lot of people saying, wait a minute, the NBA is one of your best things that you have on TNT with the crew with Inside the NBA. Why would he say these comments? And he was referring to the media rights deal. Then conversations started to happen that even after he said that comment, he lowballed the number for the bidding war to be able to have one of those 3 spots that we saw earlier from the media rights deal. And a lot of people assume that the NBA and the commissioner actually took offense that that the CEO of Warner Brothers ended up saying that they didn't need to have the NBA to hit all their marks, to have all the views, pretty much devaluing the NBA. And then on top of that, in this bidding war with NBC and Amazon Prime sat there and submitted a lowball number that the NBA did not see as acceptable. So is it fair to say that possibly the commissioner saw those comments from the CEO of Warner Brothers and also saw the number that was on the table and said, absolutely not. The preference and priority that I would have given y'all, I can't give you that anymore when I see NBC willing to give me the price of $2.5 billion and Amazon Prime over here willing to give me $1.8 billion, and you're lowballing me, then telling me to my face that the NBA is something that you don't need to have on your network. Got you. Bet. I'll go where I'm appreciated. It seemed like this was it. The nail was in the coffin, because even during the NBA Finals, Charles Barkley actually got on air and said, I'm retiring from television after next season. I'm not going to work anywhere else. TNT's about to be over. Inside the NBA is done. After next season, that's the last time y'all going to see me on television. Well, in the last week, Chuck has reconsidered retirement, which I think we all a little bit hoped for and kind of also expected. He has publicly stated that he is listening and entertaining offers from ESPN, NBC, and Prime Video now. And that, hey, the entire situation with Warner Brothers, TNT, everything, he believes is not their fault or the workers' fault, that it's all to blame on the higher-ups. Now, Warner Brothers has Charles on a 10-year, $210 million deal, and he has stated that he's not taking no pay cut for things that are not his fault. So yes, that is why he is now reconsidering retirement and entertaining a lot of offers and deals with the 3 that I previously just mentioned. Now, this is where it gets really fun, because after Chuck says this during the finals, we're thinking it's done. It's over. It's wraps. Close the curtains. Let's get ready for the farewell tour and all the crazy things we're about to hear on air next season with that crew, right? Well, TNT said, haha, not yet. We're not done. We got a pulse. They ended up putting out a statement saying, hey, we matched the offer. We've sent it to the NBA. We got some life. We're going to see what is about to happen now. Reports said that they felt like maybe it would take a week for the NBA to come up with their decision. It took like 2 days. 2 days. And they were like, look, No, it's not going to work. As you see in the statement, Warner Brothers Discovery's most recent proposal did not match the term of Amazon Prime's video offer, and therefore we have entered into a long-term arrangement with Amazon. Pretty much shutting all this down, saying, hey, little too late, we're going with Amazon Prime Video. You didn't match the offer really as you're stating, and we're done. We're thankful, but it's the end. But do you actually think that was going to be the last thing that we were going to hear from TNT Sports, them just accepting that the offer got rejected? Absolutely not. TNT Sports then ended up putting out their statement in response to the NBA's rejection, saying, given the NBA's unjustified rejection of our matching of a third-party offer, we have taken legal action to enforce our rights. So now we're about to have a legal battle here. On top of TNT Sports putting out that statement about legal action, it doesn't stop there, because then Chuck put out his statement, and if it's one thing we know about Chuck, he ain't scared to say what he's really feeling. Now, in the statement, he goes, clearly the NBA has wanted to break up with us from the beginning. I'm not sure TNT ever had a chance. TNT matched the money, but the league knows Amazon and these tech companies are the only ones willing to pay for the rights when they double in the future. The NBA didn't want to piss them off. It's a sad day when owners and commissioners choose money over the fans. It just sucks. Then he goes on in the statement to thank Turner for the last 24 years, everything they've been able to do, the people, the crew, and how it's been one of the best things that they could do in sports, and that he's excited to give it everything he has for next season. But pretty much, he's sitting there saying that the reason all this is happening is simply because of money. But it looks like the NBA and Prime Video are not worried about that legal battle whatsoever, because they are moving along with business as planned. They also promoted this graphic. The banner is also on the Amazon site if you go on there. NBA Prime Video coming 2025. They're letting us know it's locked and loaded. We're done, okay? We got the third spot. It is what it is. There's a few things to note, though, in this that makes this even more interesting. Prime Video sources have said that they want Inside the NBA on their streaming platform, that they don't want it to go away, and I think it's also clear the NBA and the commissioner don't want the Inside the NBA crew to go away either. But it gets interesting because you don't know what all four of them will do. We have Chuck saying he's entertaining these offers from the three. We don't know what Shaq's going to do, but a lot of people are assuming Shaq's going to go where the money is. We don't know what Kenny's going to do. Now, Ernie is the one thing to be worried about, because sources have said that Ernie has stated his stance that he's going to stay with TNT, Turner. That's where he's going to stay. He's not leaving. So I don't know if Prime Video can work something out to end up swaying him. But as of right now, I do believe Shaq, Kenny, and Chuck can be talked into possibly going to Prime Video or NBC, or however that ends up happening, that Ernie would be the tough one. But Prime Video got that third spot, and they're ready to rock and roll come 2025. I desperately do not want to see the Inside the NBA crew go. I would probably cry during that last episode, the farewell tour season of the Inside the NBA crew. Like, I don't even like that entire sentence whatsoever, because we all love this show. It's part of the culture. It's part of the sport. Like, we need this, okay? How are we going to be able to survive without hearing Shaq say, "What you say, Chuck? What you say?" Kenny running to the board, barely making it. Like, how are we going to deal without Ernie and his sticky notes of predictions? But I will say this, a last season of Inside the NBA is dangerous for a lot of reasons. If we thought that they sat there and cracked jokes were uncensored, unfiltered, as we regularly see them, what do you think we're about to get if this is the last time we might possibly see them on TNT?